My name is Marshall Lent. I'm the manager here at Salt City Brew Supply. Everything I do in here is with the goal of making sure that our customers get the best possible experience when they start looking to take on some kind of fermentation project. As you walk into our store, you'll see starter equipment kits. So if you're starting from scratch, you can pick up the whole kit that has the buckets and the carboys and the siphons. So you can just grab it, grab some ingredients, and then start making beer. But if you, say, acquire some equipment elsewhere, somebody gives something to you, we have everything for sale individually. You can piece together whatever you want. Anything you don't see here in the store that might be too big or we just decide we don't have space for, we are happy to bring in by special request. It's been about a year since we held our last Intro to Homebrewing class. We're working on getting back into the groove of scheduling other classes for things like wine and kombucha and fermented vegetables. If you can't make it to a class on a topic you're interested in, you can always come into the store and we're happy to take the time one-on-one to get them comfortable to the point where they can start in the hobby. What I love about home brewing is that it's an intersection of art and science and an intersection of history and innovation. I was an anthropology student in college, and one of the things that drew me into the hobby was that there was something that felt distinctly human about making beer. It's a practice that's almost as ancient as civilization. And then I also love the creativity that I get to put into it. I get to design my recipe, choose all of my malts, choose all of my hops, choose my yeast, and I end up making something that no one has ever made before. Step one in the process of making beer is going to be making wort, which is what I'm demonstrating today. That's just getting the fermentable sugar out of barley malt and into a liquid solution where you can boil it with hops for flavor and aroma and bitterness to balance out the malt. Step two is fermenting that wort that you've made. So you'll want to just cool it down under 80 degrees, get your chosen yeast fermenting in it, and then it's just waiting for 2 to 4 weeks for that fermentation process to complete. And then you just move on to packaging it, whether that's into bottles with a little sugar for carbonation or into kegs, which you can force carbonate with a CO2 cylinder. One of the bigger beginner mistakes that I see is people maybe getting too excited to flex their creativity in their recipes before they have the foundations of understanding to know how ingredients are best used in a batch of beer. And I think when you're starting out, it's best to keep it simple. One pro tip I would say is when you're steeping your grains or performing a mash, if it's an all-grain recipe, is to not try to manually maintain your temperature on the heat source. What I do is to get the temperature where you want it by heating the water just above by 10 degrees. Add your grain, which will pull the temperature back down, and then just insulate your kettle with beach towels or a sleeping bag or something that will just keep it about the same temperature for that hour. What I think homebrewing contributes to the culture in Salt Lake is the spirit of self-reliance. I think it's a good jumping off point that we've seen for a lot of the local craft beer that we now have here. There are several breweries around that the owners or the brewers or someone involved with it started out wandering into our store or a store like it just as a novice and found a passion. It's a way now to share that passion with the rest of the community.